Shah ma'am to give her expert opinion on the topic.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Aryan and Mrudul, for a very insightful presentation. Concise. We went through a lot of things over there, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions with the audiences. We'll get to one by one, but before we get to your questions, there are a few things that I want to tell you about the basics. Coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms. If you just go by the two words in simple English language, cope and defense. Can anyone tell me anyone just raise the hand and tell me which one sounds more negative, which one sounds more positive? So if you're looking, okay, let's give Dhruv Bhandari a chance. I think he's the first one.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, defense mechanism sounds a little violent from my side.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dhruv. If you could mute your mic. Thank you very much. So coming back to the point, if you look at the word cope, we are looking at coping with something. That means we might not be great at it, but we are going to try and be better. We are going to do this and try to develop a strategy to continue doing this to achieve a result, a potential, and move in the direction that we want to. In psychology, we all believe that circumstances will not stop coming. It's the reaction to those circumstances that need to be maintained. In your life, in mine, there are good news, bad news, all kinds of times that go through. But when we look at how you react versus how I react versus how the third person reacts, it's what differentiates between settling in, being unsettled, and requiring a little help. All three situations are perfectly okay and acceptable because we are all humans. So when we cope with something, we intentionally channelize ourselves in taking on something in a positively progressive manner. So that means if I have a bad news, or let's take the most COVID-19, we weren't prepared to seeing our friends through a box for the better part of 2 years, or seeing our colleagues or our friends for a better part of 2 years, or the new normal has been stressful. But can someone here try to give me a few coping mechanisms all of you kept up with? Anybody, hands one or two options as to what you did to cope with or defend this situation with. Okay, Aryan, considering we have you, we can take on Aryan and then we can take on Anshita. Quickly, one.
I think one coping mechanism could be driving or doing any hobby where you can push your limits to the extreme and use up all that negative energy.
In COVID-19, these 2 years that you were in the new normal, this was one of the coping strategies that were used by you to to cope with.
Everyone has different ways. Like we have seen that screaming out loudly, what it does is it like uses up that negative energy that is filled up inside you. So we could just find ways to use up that negative energy. I have found boxing very helpful. Wall punching.
Oh, very good. Boxing is great. Thank you, Aryan. Anshita, tell me. Mrudul, we'll just come to you. Tell me.
Yeah, so for COVID-19, I have come more positive and I have started meditating daily. So it gives me peace of mind. And moreover, I have started believing in spirituality, and I believe that okay, everything happens for a good reason, and sometimes it's okay to leave things on their own.
Great. That's a good thing. One of the things that you mentioned, that is meditating. Yes, Mrudul, tell me. What was yours?
For me, coping mechanisms during COVID-19 pandemic was drawing. That way I could express myself without any words, but still express myself in a way that only I understood.
Very beautiful. What Mrudul did over here is, thank you so much, Mrudul. What Mrudul told me over here is what we call a cathartic technique. So coping, everything that was shared here is positive. Now coming to defense mechanisms. Defense mechanisms is where you're defending yourself. When we defend ourselves, that means there is a potential, as Dhruv said, a potential of a negative stimuli that exists. Like, for example, if you see in the jungle, you need to defend yourself against the wild or the wilderness or the things that your unpredictable reactions can happen. So eventually your reflexive mechanisms come on. So there's anger, there's displacement, there is, you are triggered and you react rather than respond. Coping is more of a response to a situation than a reaction. And that's how we have coping mechanisms and defense mechanisms that work together. Defense mechanisms block us from the onslaught of the stimuli immediately. And when we look at coping mechanisms, they teach us how to keep moving forward. Like Aryan here might be doing boxing every day. I myself am very fond of the sandbag. It's one of my favorite. The hammer and the tire on the CrossFit is my favorite. Hammering it out. Yes, because the surge of emotions starts with what we call our neurotransmitters, and they channelize everything and they channelize all our energies into one direction. And first, when the surge of the neurotransmitters, the serotonin levels, the dopamine levels are all leveled out, then we move on to coming to dealing with the problem at hand. But in a clouded state of mind, we tend to do difficult choices. We tend to make, I wouldn't call them wrong, but we tend to make difficult choices, self-destructive choices, choices such as you guys very insightfully mentioned, like smoking, drinking, and yes, most commonly these days, there's a lot of drugs in the market, because these chemical alterations of the mind and the neurotransmitters help us adapt to the situation better. But they are short-term, they have a larger residual problematic effect, and they give us quick relief. We're in the world of Insta. What is Insta? Instantly, I connected with you guys. Instantly, I called. But coping mechanisms are a gradual process. Defense is our instant response. Negative coping mechanisms is instant relief. Have a drink, feel calm, chill out. Chill out. Why bother? Just chill. Have a smoke, feel calm, chill. But that's just an instant gratification of a feeling that is surging inside you. Better than that, this, as you people have, I've had, this is beautiful. I must compliment you. They are definitely most helpful. The things that you have here, call a friend. Every therapist is like a friend. So yes, call a friend and compliment yourself. There are so many beautiful things you've written here. We have to do them consistently to be able to do the things that we want to do and move in the direction we want to. I'm open for questions. Anything, I'll open the floor, Mrudul, Aryan, anyone who wants to take over, and we're open for questions that you may have about coping mechanisms, about anything that you're dealing with, any problems you're facing as a young lot. And I'm very proud of all the effort you guys are doing. This is beautiful work over here. So please feel free to fire away all the questions that come to you, and let's take them one by one.
Okay, if anyone has any questions, please raise your hand, or you can even type them out in the chat. And I can see that Dhruv and Aryan are raising their hands. Aryan, go ahead.
So ma'am, sometimes
I
we
think,
have.
then can I make a request? Can we make this the gallery view? Because I can only see me. I would like to also see the person I'm interacting with.
Yes,
I'm pinned on the screen. If we could make this a gallery view and move it to the speaker, if that's
Yes,
okay with all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Then I'd love to see all of your hardworking, beautiful faces, the young future of the country. There you go.
Yeah.
I can see Mrudul. I'll move to the gallery view. Yes, tell me.
So, ma'am, sometimes you have situations, you're going through a tough time and you wish to cope with it, but you need to make a decision, quickly. Like it is an important decision. You need to make it like it needs to happen in an emergency. But if you try to cope with whatever stress you have, it will take time. So at that particular point, if we use temporary coping mechanisms such as smoking or something, what do we do then? Like, would it be advisable, or what do we just do then?
Well, that's okay. Let's start with step one. When we look at urgent situations. What are we coping with by having a smoke? The only thing you're urgently coping with is a nicotine deficit in your body. So that means you are looking for what is nicotine. It's a stimulant. Can you think of replacing it with a little bit of coffee, a little bit of tea? That's your instant gratification. When you're looking at the situation, breaking the situation as per your response to the situation is better than trying to break the situation in itself. For example, I'll give you the most common example of a phobia. Phobias have two types of responses. There's a fight or a flight. Fight response would be where you actually try to stand ground and deal with your influx of, it's an irrational response. When we're looking at flight, just quickly escape, run away, get away. Again, that smoking, drinking is instant getting away. Now, if we're looking at one small thing, just try to hold on to our responses. There are some things which are known as grounding techniques. Now, the topic that you mentioned over here in one of your slides, let me, here, right here, how to get rid of the toxic coping mechanisms. The answers in the last one. Stay grounded in the present moment. Now, what do you mean by staying grounded in the present moment? By staying grounded in the present moment would mean that there is a certain technique called the grounding technique. We look at grounding ourselves in the moment by 5 things we can touch, 4 things we can see, 3 things we can smell, 2 things we can taste, 1 thing we can eat. All of these things are there that keep us grounded in the present moment. So first, calming ourselves down. Yes, we are all capable of momentary respites, but those momentary respites will not be consistently chosen. Then they become habits. So a momentary respite is not wrong, but consistently choosing it is a habit, which is non-beneficial in the long run.
I am in a different way.
Yes.
Like, let's say I have gotten a job offer and I need to respond to it within like a day or two. But I recently broke up with my girlfriend, so I'm already very sad and depressed. So I am in the bad state of mind, but I need to make that quick decisions. So what do you do in such situations?
That's good. That's a very good question. In such situations, what you got to do, very simply prioritize listing. Any anxious state of mind always has something known as prioritizing. What at that point in time is more important? You have a girlfriend, will you keep a job? Not necessarily, but if you have a great job, you definitely make it to a great girlfriend. Pro tip. Because when you're working, you have potential, you attract people with potential. Energy flows where intention goes. So first we invest in ourselves. So first we prioritize sorting out what we need to do at the job. Would you like to be great? So get yourself a great job, guys. Study hard, invest in yourselves. The country is depending on you. Yes, and who do we take? Anshita, could I come to you later? Can we take Anushka here? She's got a question. Anushka
yes,
Jain, hi.
Yes, ma'am. Hi.
Can I see you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it possible to see you? I would love to
Yes,
see you.
ma'am.
Oh, there you are. That's a bright face. How are you, Anushka?
Ma'am, I'm fine. How are you?
All well, thank you. Tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I wanted to ask, like, you said the defense mechanism is negative thing. So, like, what if we are in a dilemma and, like, we feel that it is necessary to take that action, then how can we overcome that?
Defense mechanism per se is not a negative thing. It's a reflexive thing, which tends to lead to a non-thought out process, which 90% of the times comes out to be slightly more stronger than anything else. So it's not a negative, it's reflex. We are conditioned that way. There's something that has been coming with us. Now, coming to your question, could you repeat that for me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Like if we need feel the need to take action right then and there, and like then how will we able to overcome that sense of feeling?
Action about how will we be able to overcome what?
Defense mechanism. How will we able to overcome defense mechanism if we like find ourselves in that position and like a sort of we don't want to, but it feels like a necessary step.
Um, See, if it's going to be a necessary step, it's not going to be something that you'll be able to think about it, because defense mechanism tends to be a reason that just happens reflexively. By reflexively, for example, if you touch me somewhere by without my permission, I might respond reactively, and I may just have a very sharp reaction, like I bump into something. Ouch! How dare you! That's reflexively. But when I calm down, the pain calms down, I'll turn around and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So we can rectify a defense mechanism. We can rectify, but that is not the solution to a problem. This was a very, very small problem that I discussed. When we're looking at these are very large umbrella terms when it comes to psychological situations. When you're looking at a defense mechanism, something that comes out of you reflexively, don't hold that against you. We're humans before anything else. It's okay to not be okay, but to consistently choose that is where the difficulty lies. To consistently choose a defensive strategy over a coping strategy is where the problem will not end for us. We'll find ourselves in the vicious loop of getting angry at people, leaving situations, escapism, regressive behavior. Yes. Does that answer your
Thank
question,
you, ma'am.
Anushka?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
I hope so. You're most welcome. Yes, Anchita, sorry.
Yeah, ma'am. So, like we say that there are a lot of good people and bad people too, but sometimes if like something very bad happens to us, we are in a tendency that we like stop believing and we stop being the good that we are, because we believe that okay, now this bad has happened to me, so we pull ourselves a little back, and that becomes our negative side. So, like, how to cope up with that thing? Like, should we stay pulled back and control our emotions and like believe and think that okay means people are going to be bad, or like we should believe that there's good in people too?
What I'll ask you a question in response to your question. What do you generally believe about people, genuinely?
Like I believe okay, I have faced a lot of things, but I believe that there's good also, because there's if there's good then there's bad too, but still like sometimes it's difficult to cope up with it even if you know everything.
Which part are you coping up with?
Coping up with the fact that
Them being
okay,
bad, them being bad, or your
yeah,
response to them being bad?
them being bad.
Them being bad. Could you give me an example? Could you break it down to a specific example? Like Arden's example was spot on.
Like for example, if I have given someone everything, like all of my love and everything, and they like still ditch you, and they like backbitch and all about you, but then you think that okay, now I won't trust other people and so on. So like, how do you cope up with it?
When we are in such a situation, we need to understand that 90% of the times a person has got nothing to do with us and more to do with them. Their response to you is got to do with the baggage they are carrying, their coping mechanisms, which they don't have in place. But predominantly in relationships, in situations, we make everything about ourselves. We make it us. We did this, we deserve this, and we are the first ones to break our own backs. It's better to look at a situation in a manner where we understand that this is not about me. My version of them and their version of me. People will love you and people will hate you, and that, my friend, has nothing to do with you most of the times when we're talking about the general population. So if you choose to be emotionally present with someone, whether it's a dear loved one or a friend or a family member, anyone, or a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife, any which way, you choose to know what you are doing is out of your choice. A. B. Healthy boundary settings is a coping mechanism which is very beautiful. How much is too much is a question I often ask my patients. So you see how much is it that you would like to do, and never go to a point where saying no becomes difficult. That is where we prioritize ourselves. Meditation like that It's also got to keep the locus of control within you. Does that help answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, I would also, most welcome. I would also like to explain these are very large questions. So some of them might just be too detailed. Some might get left behind, but you're most welcome to connect with me anytime through Insta, in person. Mrudul has my details. Yes, Mrudul, tell me. You've been waiting for quite some time.
No, I actually wanted to read out the questions which Anandita has posted in the chat.
Please do. Please do so. Please do so.
So
They are
question,
flashing here, but because I'm talking to all of you, I'm unable to address them. I'm sorry.
Yes, it's okay. I'll tell them. So
that'll be very nice. Please do.
Yes, Anandita's first question is how to cope with extreme anxiety, which is a great issue, especially after the pandemic. Like getting too tensed by any upcoming thing, like exam results, movies, shows, etc.
Exam results, and the other one is
movies, shows, etc.
Movies. I appreciate we're facing anxieties regarding movies. Oh, okay, going to a movie hall or public spaces. I'm not sure I understand. Could you repeat that question?
That's what she means.
Okay, so let's break it up into two. Yes, Aryan, tell me.
Ma'am, I think she means like, there are whatever events that may be upcoming in a particular movie or a show, like, you like some show, you do sometimes tend to get tensed by whatever's going to happen.
Yes, I do. I don't like horror movies. The moment something suspenseful music plays, I start looking the other way. I understand that very well. Yes. See, anxiousness, you have to understand, is coming from a trigger. We are anxious not about everything. Anxiousness is trying to control an outcome that is not existent right now. It is existent in a moment in time which is way ahead of us. Okay? What ifs? अगर ये हो गया तो क्या हो गया? अगर वहां पे चिपकली हुई तो क्या करूंगी मैं? अगर ये ऐसा हुआ तो कैसा हुआ? We are basing our decisions in a locus of control completely outside our control. There is a prayer that we often say to people, God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Most of the times we keep trying to control an outcome. If we do the hard work, or if we focus on the outcome, which out of the two will move us in better direction? Anandita, which one? Doing the hard work or worrying about the result? I think if it'll be about doing the hard work. Yes. So when you do the hard work, yes. So when we focus on this hard work, we try to focus. That is what is under our control. In any situation, break the situation into two parts: what's under our control and what's not under our control. Like, for example, Aryan's question in anxiety, I'll give you. I have a great job waiting for me, but I'm really upset because my girlfriend fought with me. So I don't know and how to focus. I'm very anxious about that as well. You will or will not be able to solve things when another person is concerned. But when it's your job, responding to a job interview which you've cleared, your hard work, you get the results. And eventually you move to a direction. So progress is step by step. And anxiety can be controlled only by controlling the things that you can. Like in COVID-19, the protocols were to travel safe, to be careful, to maintain distance, to mask up. If you do your checklist in place, that's what you're in control of. I hope I don't fall ill with COVID-19. It's a situation which is not under our control. So focusing on things under our control keeps anxiety at a calm. Yes, I think Dhruv had a question.
Ma'am, let Aryan finish first, then I'll ask ma'am.
Okay, sure. Yes, Aryan, tell me.
We just have another question in the chat by Anandita.
Please do.
How to cope with gadget addiction? Like when I went to school after more than a year, me and my friends were all surrounded by devices so much that in the school we felt the constant urge to check our phones. Even I have felt this issue. I had offline college starting a month ago, and I am so into my laptop and my phone. So basically, it's become my world, and I refuse to attend offline school due to the same reason that I cannot have my phone or my laptop. I went for one day And the first day I went and they took my phone, I was like, yeah, not coming back. And I haven't been to offline schools ever since.
They took my phone and I'm like, yeah, not coming back. Agreed. Well, if I was to flip the camera, I don't look less of a gaming station here. So there's a light here, there's an iPad here, there's a laptop here, there's a laptop lying on the side. So I could be a tech operating on some sort of a dark web level. I've got 10,000 screens opened up here and a phone here. We're all victim of it, but we all are a victim of it in the new normal. And I appreciate the question that you have, but there's always a choice. There's always a choice. Try making a choice which works for you in the direction you do at the moment. Striking a balance helps. Like, for example, if you could do one day offline, one day online. The online world is not real. We are addicted to it because the gratification is instant. I'll come to your question. Let me finish. The gratification is instant. The results are virtual. Connects are closer, faster, quicker. Things are easier. Everything's at a click of a button. But human relations is what keeps us grounded. There was a quote that was shared by one of those things that were on one of the motivational quote pages. They turned around and said, a human can survive without meditation and spirituality, but we cannot survive without human contact. As of now, also, your gadget is great because there are X number of faces and people here. So as long as one is not losing itself or themselves to one entirety, we can always strike a balance between the virtual and the real world. Connect with the same people virtually and in real. Strike a balance. One may be a little lesser than the other, but that has to be, yes, tell me.
Ma'am, you advised that, we can have it alternately. But for me, I cannot get away from my device. Reason being not that I don't wish to, but due to my work, and all of my work is online. I own a web development company. Then, I am an esports player as well. So I cannot stay away from my device even for an hour. I get constant calls. I have to practice with my team, and I need to talk with my programmers and everything. So I can't stay away. So what do I do then?
This is a question for a longer session. There is a structure that you can make around it. There's a structure that you can make around it. Have stipulated hours of management. Have a certain way of prioritizing and organizing and readjusting your system. That is what we call coping mechanisms. By saying that one cannot completely is shutting out the opportunity to even have a response. Cannot means there's a reaction. It's finished. It's closed. I'm completely closed to the situation. When we think of a coping mechanism, we try to strike a balance where we don't entirely lose ourselves to one side of the story. And I understand being a gamer and being tech friendly, you require your gadgets, but make sure you take a healthy amount of time off it. And that comes by prioritizing your list, scheduling your time hours in gist that I'm telling you. Quickly getting off the screen for a quick 10-minute video call with somebody, or just an audio call, or probably just an ice cream and a walk around the campus. Small, short, stipulated breaks always help. Restart, refresh, reboot, refocus. Someone asked a question about anhedonia. Arya has a question. There's one, Arya. Am I pronouncing your name right? Hi, Arya, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
May I see you, please? Is it possible to see you? I'd love to see who I'm talking to. If it's okay with you, else you can just ask me. Yes. Hi, Arya. There you are. Tell me. You had a question. Your hand was raised.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm having a difficulty dealing with family pressure and I have a lot of anxiety. When I'm alone, I don't feel like talking to anyone. I have very terrible mood swings and Sometimes I lose my control and then I get frustrated and blame it on someone. They get frustrated. You come back to me maybe.
Come slightly closer to the mic. You have a tough time with your family members. They get frustrated with you. You get frustrated with them. Is there a preceding event that leads to this sort of a discord between all of you? Is there something that precedes this, triggers your reaction or theirs?
Not as such, but sometimes about studies, like there's difficulty to concentrate on things, get distracted mind.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to deal with my mood swings.
You don't know how to be?
Deal with mood swings.
Deal with mood swings. I see. And these mood swings happen. Would you like to speak to me in person about this, or would you like me to address it? Mood swings can happen with a lot of reasons. How old are you, Arya?
16. 16.
I'm sorry, 15. Okay, so in 15, at 15, there are, see, you all have to understand, all of you are at an age where there are a lot of mind and body changes going on. That can also be a large contributor for a situation that arises with you being angry, being unheard, ununderstood, absolutely hitting a wall in communication. It's very, very regular and common. It's all happened. Tolerance levels to all this is become lesser and lesser and lesser. So when these things, our triggers are quicker, try and catch hold of the thoughts preceding these mood swings. There is always something known as an automatic thought. In our cognitive behavior therapy, we believe there is something that precedes. Either it's what they say to you, it's how they've said to you, and there is always a healthy way to communicate what we want to accept or not accept with our family members. On plus, try to, do you exercise, Arya?
I go for classes.
I'm sorry. Hanji?
I go for badminton classes.
You go for badminton classes. I want you to add something of a free run in your routine where you're not getting instructions. Like walking in the park, going for a run or a jog, considering you do badminton, so you will have good cardiovascular strength. Walk around, go for a jog, go for a walk in the nature, spend some time outside and process the thoughts. Writing your thoughts down will help. If you want them further understood, I can help you understand them as well. But identifying those thoughts, you need to have some time to yourself and channelize the overflowing energy where you're not in the presence of a commanding or an authority figure. Take some time off. From teachers to parents, everything's in one place these days. So I understand if it gets a bit too much for you. Am I making any sense, Arya, to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, does that remotely answer your questions? I understand these are very short, concise answers. They are longer situations and therapeutic responses to these, but we're trying to make the best of the time we have.
Yes,
is there anything you want to add to that?
No, ma'am, my query was clear.
Great. Thank you for your question. Yes, there is Nana here. Hi, Nana.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, can I see you, please? I love to see
Actually,
my audience.
I'm not at home, so I
No
won't
worries.
be.
Tell me.
I
No
hope
problem.
that's
Tell
not
me.
a problem.
Not at all. Not at all. I love to see people. I'm old
Yeah,
school.
so like
Even
there,
through a screen.
yeah. So there sometimes we like have a dispute with the parents or
Yeah.
or anybody, and we feel like quite lonely or like as if nobody gets us, nobody understands us thoroughly. Like, so what should we do at that time?
That's definitely a question of concern. In that moment, I usually advise to my people is to understand yourself, what you are trying to make the others understand. Sometimes it's not what we are saying, it's how we are saying it. Communication is a two-way street. We 90% these days communicate to respond, not to listen. But listening is also a step which is very important communication. So when you've got communication going on, I would request you to first communicate with yourself what you are trying to make sure the other person understands. And then there are always words to construct our conversations with family members, authority figures, teachers, and say what needs to be said. Choosing isolation over communication is not a solution. We can start with a communication in one of these topics. There's something known as write your thoughts. We in psychology or as therapists call it journaling. It's very helpful a technique. So journal your thoughts. Talk about what you were trying to make someone understand, what wasn't understood, and how you would feel better understood. And that those thoughts that come to you, make sure you take some sort of help from you can reach out to me or anyone available who's willing to guide you, and have the say to feel being heard. You are never lonely. We are just looking in the wrong direction sometimes. There is always someone to help if you ask for it. And if you feel misunderstood, try to understand what about that misunderstanding is not working for you. Because sometimes I say, oh, come on, yaar. So your reaction will be, why are you talking to me like this? What have I done? And in the back and forth of this, the topic of conversation was nothing. Do you realize I never said anything? I
Yes,
just
ma'am.
reacted, you reacted, and none of us said anything. But if I know that, Naina, I would appreciate it if next time when we're together, you come online and I can see you and ask me my questions, would that help? Now I said one thing where you heard what needed to be said, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So choosing a response and saying what you want to say and how you say it matters a lot in being understood. Plus,
Okay,
it's a
ma'am.
detailed topic. If you do some journaling, my email is there on my Insta, and you can get in touch with me.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you so
You're
much for that.
you're very welcome, man. Take care. I hope I was able to answer your question. Yes, Dhruv, Aryan. I think Dhruv this time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
So I had a personal question, a personal issue. Let's take it that way. So from a long time, okay, and I lost my friends, okay, COVID, and I just passed out of my 11th grade, and I'm in 12th right now. So and during my 10th grade, I lost many friends, and it was a great friendship. And actually, I made them away because the way they were looking at life was different. Like I was hustling for my career. I was literally they were literally going on the path which I मुझे डर लग रहा था कि भाई अगर ये लोग इधर जा रहे हैं obviously किधर तो भी गिर जाएंगे. That was a scene there. Then ये हो गया. I left them, but now it's been 1 year, okay, but it still comes humming to me. Like मैंने उनके अच्छे के लिए या फिर ऐसा पकड़ो कि हम दोनों के लिए हम दोनों के अच्छे के लिए I made them apart, ठीक है, but I'm the only one who's suffering. That's number one. I see them growing, ma'am, where I see myself doing nothing. Like literally, I'm just every day I go, I do my tuitions, I do my college, I come home, I go gym, घर पे आ जाना. बस, ma'am. And थोड़ा बहुत, ma'am, I study Python, I study stock market, थोड़ा सा. बस, ma'am. Like I don't see myself where they are right now because I think that they're doing well, but their path is wrong.
I know what you mean. And tell me,
it comes something, and sometimes I break down, ma'am. Like mummy के पास बैठा हूँ, mummy पूछ रही क्या हुआ, and I just go like crying and stuff. Like अच्छा है चलो. And ma'am, I cannot trust people anymore. Like ये भी बात मैंने ना मैंने सिर्फ मम्मी और पापा के साथ शेयर की है और एक फ्रेंड, बस मैम. And like literally I cannot trust people anymore.
I'm very, let me first tell you, it's very brave of you to say everything that you've said out here. So kudos to you. You know, when we win half the battle, we win half the battle when we understand that there is a battle to be fought and that there is a situation and you address that. That's half the battle won. For the rest of it, when you're feeling, comparisons never worked for anybody. There'll always be someone better, someone brighter, someone lesser, someone more, someone, because we forget to see ourselves. At the end of the day, who do we go to bed with every day?
Yeah, ourselves, our mind.
Aryan has a response to that, which I'm not going to go to because he's got a smile on his face. Dhruv, yes, I see the smile is always good. You have to understand this. When you're sitting with someone, you're still in your head. You're still interpreting your actions. For example, I'll give a very simple example. Aryan is smiling away. I can see him. Now, I will interpret it according to me, and he will interpret it according to him. But right now, this is a happy situation where we're talking and being together. But sometimes these things become a barrier in our relationships. We don't perceive the things as they are. We perceive them as we are. And what happens is you just said one statement, which I completely disagree. You said, I am not doing anything. I'm just doing nothing. You're doing the stock market. You're doing your school, college. You're doing your studies. You're spending time with your parents. You're here supporting a larger cause for other people and providing a platform and being a part of a platform, looking after your peers. If there ain't a greater cause than that, I don't think there is. Our path might be longer, but always remember the path is a choice that you made. You just have to have your focus on the goal. If you know where you're headed, the paths can keep changing. Comparing to another, the paths can keep changing. Like, for example, you were into the gym. Tell me your favorite exercise in the gym, then I'll tell you mine. What's your favorite exercise?
Ma'am, it's mostly weightlifting, but nowadays it's treadmill.
It's a treadmill. How much do you lift? What do you lift? Tell me your favorite exercise in lifting.
Ma'am, it's a leg machine. I lift 90 lbs.
Yeah, so you on the leg press machine, you do that, right? The one which you lie down and push up. That's the one?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's the
one. Now that strength that you do in that moment, if that leg press machine comes falling down on you,
yes,
and if you're not focusing, what will happen?
Ma'am, it will just fall on me. I'll have my
injury.
Yeah, injury. Injury.
तो जब आपका गोल उस लेग प्रेस मशीन में 90 पाउंड को नीचे आने के लिए नहीं है, तो उसको ऊपर रखने के लिए जितनी ताकत लगा रहे हैं, that is the strength of mind you need to have on the path. Your goal is to keep that weight pushed up, right?
Yes, ma'am. It is.
Whether you keep your leg fully extended or sometimes halfway extended, or you use the lock in the leg press machine, you keep the weight up.
True.
So that's your goal. Remember your goal. There are 3 different parts to it. Always. And you will, as long as you know where you want to go, you will get there, because energy flows where intention goes. Comparisons are a very big barrier in this. That's not a coping mechanism for sure. Coping with them will be about, I see you, I can, will, try, do, I must, I should. मैंने क्या किया है? Are statements which become barriers in our head. Be kind to your mind. You're doing a lot. आप कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा और करेंगे. Rome wasn't built in one day. And for everything else, you can log into sessions with me and we can take it up step by step and help you achieve your goals. Yes.
Ma'am, anything you want to comment? Like, I separated, I'm I separated our friendship. So would you like to comment anything on that?
Are you happy with the outcome of separating your friendship?
Ma'am, I'm the one who's suffering. So
are you at peace with separating your friendship? The answer to that is correct when you said, I am the one. So that means you're willing to take responsibility that you chose this, right? So when you chose this, you are aware that you are responsible for these actions. Sometimes we are not in accordance with our responsibility. हमने choose कर लिया पर अब हमें शायद नहीं लग रहा कि ये हमारे लिए चल रहा है. You can unchoose it. Breaking your diet one day doesn't make you gain 1 kg weight. Consistency is the key. Why did you leave everyone? Can I ask you that, or is it too personal for a common forum?
Ma'am, not too personal, but there people will judge. It's like, ma'am, we were. No, ma'am, it's fine. At least I don't yet. Okay, so it was a 7 to 8 year friendship, and they were like after our 10th grade, उनको life में कुछ thrill चाहिए था. So they started smoking and drinking, which I don't like usually. So I was like, ठीक है तुम लोग कर लो. Then they forced me. It was not a direct force. It was an indirect force, which I didn't like. Then, ma'am, let's do, frankly, मेरा सर घूम गया and I, slapped and pushed them away. Then I recorded them. And no, I recorded them and they got triggered, to be honest. And like we were in a hotel and I moved out. I took my two-wheeler, I moved out, and I went to my house. It was Chaturthi or it was Ganpati ka night. I don't really remember. It was Ganpati.
It must be crowded.
Yes, ma'am, a lot of crowd. But I came home
in Bombay for 2 years.
Sorry, ma'am.
I said I was in Bombay for 2 years. So yes, I know how crowded it can get in the festival time. Hanji.
No, ma'am, where are you?
You left out. I'm in Delhi. I did one of my masters from SNDT University, Bombay.
Okay.
Bhutara Road. Yes, tell me, you were saying. So you moved out of the hotel on your scooty?
And I went home. So they actually, अभी 7 साल से दोस्त है, मम्मी को मालूम, पापा को मालूम. They came, घर के नीचे आए and they shouted my name. So आरती चालू थी and I was up only. I was doing the आरती and Papa invited them up for the आरती. Man, that time I got so pissed. They were drunk, they were smoked up, and they did the आरती of मेरे घर का गणपति. I got so pissed, man. It was like, ठीक है चलेगा. Then I met them down below my house and I told them कि ये चीज करनी है तो मुझे वापस मत बुला. And that was the only last thing I remember. And they asked me, what are you going to do with the recordings? I was like, कुछ नहीं करूँगा, तुम जाओ. And I literally did nothing with them. I still have them in my phone. It's like nothing. Ma'am, it is like उनके फैमिली मेंबर्स भी अलाउ नहीं करते फॉर डूइंग दिस शिट. दे जस्ट डोंट हैव एनीथिंग इन लाइफ. अगर थ्रिल चाहिए लाइफ में तो हॉबी ले लो यार, कौन सी. लाइक लिटरली क्या बोलूं, आई हैव नो वर्ड्स.
नहीं, आप बिल्कुल ठीक बोल रहे हैं. You're angry because you're hurt, you're let down. Own your feelings, they're yours. But
yeah, that's I was making my mom understand कि मम्मी ऐसा हो रहा है. मम्मी is like, तू कौन है बोलने वाला. I was like, मम्मी मैं कल नहीं पहचानता हूँ उन्हें, मैं 7 साल से दोस्त हूँ उनका, 8 साल से दोस्त हूँ उनका. I am someone to tell them. So फिर that thing.
It's correct, and you are absolutely correct. दोस्त सच्चे होते हैं और अच्छे होते हैं. You were correct to be bothered about your friends. You were correct to be correcting them on doing something that you wouldn't agree with, and you told them, but that's all you can do. That is where the boundary setting comes. आपने उनको निकाल के ऐसे तो छोड़ा नहीं कि जाओ तुम भाड़ में जाओ, मुझे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, I don't care. आपने समझाया, आपने परवाह करी. आप जो कर सकते थे आपने वो करा. आपको अभी भी लगता है कि आप थोड़ा बहुत उनको कर सकते हैं हेल्प, करिए. but never at the cost of yourself. The old adage, charity begins at home. We have to look at ourselves before we look at anyone else. अगर हम एक उंगली किसी और पे इशारा करते हैं, तीन हमारे ऊपर पॉइंट करती है. So heal your mind. You did your best. And what matters is you gotta leave the rest. If you miss your friends, for sure, you can tell them to meet up. You can tell them to have a coffee with you. Everything is not about smoking and drinking. And if you feel you gave up too soon, you can make amends by saying, hi, sun bhai, coffee ke liye chalega? Cool. Nahi bhai, mujhe tere se milne ka nahi. Theek bhai. Finished. You did your best. You do your best and you leave the rest. That's all that can be done. And for every other, for that, we'll have to do a little extensive CBT with me, one-on-one. You will have to log in with a session. You can come to me or talk to me through Zoom or reach out to me through Insta, and you can get in touch and I can help you. There's a guided way of moving away, which is called trauma healing. You're angry. There are some unresolved emotions in you, because you feel largely wronged. We feel wronged. Why? Can anyone answer over here? हमें क्यों लगता है कि और हमें कोप नहीं कर पाते, ये हमारे साथ ऐसा हुआ, हमारे साथ वैसा हुआ. We're not able to cope up with that. क्यों?
Because we know a situation, our mind knows a particular situation, but facing the reality, for our heart to accept the fact that that particular situation that we are wishing for is not going to turn out in that particular way, or what we wish to make out of it, we cannot do anything to turn that situation and what we wish to make it.
True. What happens is, in a concise way, if I tell you what Aryan said, I'll give you an answer. It says, expect. Resenting stones. Now make the whole statement. Expectations are the stepping stones to resentment. Why? Because उसी समय हम अपना locus of control उठा के आपके हाथ में दे देते हैं. तुम लोग ये करोगे तो मेरे लिए ये होगा. But that's out of our boundary. That is why it stays with you longer, because उम्मीद पे दुनिया कायम है. You had that expectation from them कि कुछ तो इनको समझ आएगा, कभी तो ये मेरी भी समझेंगे. And if you feel wronged about it, it's totally understandable. They are your feelings, validate them. But suppressing them, moving away from them, pushing them in the corner, denying them, that'll never help. Talk about it, ask for help. That's also a coping mechanism, Dhruv. And every storm in your head can be taken care of. Trust me. Mind over matter. You're powerful enough to sit in a public forum and discuss all of it. That's something.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, so
yes.
I have a friend right now who I have shared everything with, and actually she's also raising her hand. Her name is Nirmiti. Yes, ma'am.
I saw. I was about to ask her for.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Nirmiti. Can I see
here.
Nirmiti,
just a second. Just a second, ma'am. Actually,
and before you all log off, I'd love to take a picture of all of you for me.
Yes, guys.
With your screen.
I'll take a screenshot.
Ma'am, actually, we have one question.
Okay, so ma'am, can you see me?
Yes, Nirmiti.
The lighting is not really good, ma'am. I'm really sorry about it.
No worries. Perfectly all right. Aryan, can I take on Nirmiti's question before we come to you? Yeah, tell
actually,
me, Aryan.
Ma'am, I had no question. So just an experience, just a suggestion, or my piece of words. So Dhruv, like he has told you, Dhruv has been talking to me for a long time, and he's been telling me all of this. He's broken down and stuff. And usually I've told him the stuff you have only told, like just my words a little bit here and there. Yours were much more professional, on point. And the time you asked us, why do we feel wrong sometimes? And I was literally waiting to answer about expectations, and Aryan answered, I guess. I was like, no, Dhruv, oh my God, I wanted to say that. That is why he literally took my name right now. So, Dhruv, thanks for introducing me here. And ma'am, this session is really interesting and it's really helping. So thank you so much, ma'am.
It's my pleasure. You have no idea how happy I am to see all of you do this.
Ma'am, we are happy to see
all of you are making better choices. This is so much strength in front of me in one screen. Young children,
yes,
young India. And
yes,
all of you working towards a better tomorrow. Respect all the way. Trust me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Nirmiti. It was lovely to see you.
Yes, ma'am. You too, ma'am.
Angie. Aryan, Dhruv, both your hands are up. Questions? Somebody has to send me a screenshot. If you're doing that, then I'd appreciate it. With everyone's faces in it. Yes, Aryan, tell me.
We have a question in the chat. I'll just address it real quick.
Please do.
We have a question from Fatima. Could you address anhedonia during the pandemic, an issue a lot of people, especially students, are facing? Also, could you just explain what anhedonia is?
Anhedonia is a symptom and a diagnosis, a term largely broadly used for a loss of interest in things. It's doing the rounds, a loss of interests or sustained interest in mundane everyday activities, in routine, in life, in everything that you need to be managing. That is anhedonia. It's basically a loss of interest. So basically, there are some people who have an out-of-body experience, some people have an emptiness feeling, some people are, kya fayda yaar ye karke, jana kahin hai nahi, yahin baithe rehna, chodo na yaar. Pach kisko karna hai? Simple. Anhedonia can be a lot of ways. Some people retract, like Aryan, you yourself mentioned in your presentation, to the bed. That's also a form of loss of interest in doing even the basics, shit, shower, shave. We are not even looking after the basic 3 S's of being regular people. Sustained problems over 6 weeks establishes a diagnosis of depressive tendencies. This occurs predominantly because we are living in a moment that has gone by. We are not in the moment that exists. So we develop depressive tendencies. हम पहले बाहर जाते थे, हम घूमते थे, हम ऐश करते थे, अब हम ये नहीं करते, अब हम वो नहीं करते, तो यो ही कर रहे, इसका क्या फायदा? The discrepancy between the two of these things make us feel a little out of place in the situation. And that is why we lose interest in doing it. What's the point? कपड़े लेने का क्या फायदा? कहीं जाना तो है नहीं. It is a common symptom that showed up during this time because life got limited to the 4 walls. Loss of interest can be reversed by holding on to things that interest you. Like, for example, there may have been, the question was from Anandita, the question was from whom, Aryan? Nandita. Question Fatima. Fatima, the solution to this is to hold on to the things that interest you. 90% of our problems are we focus on what's not working for us. If we just think of the things that are working for us, that will keep us moving in the direction, however little small is. Agar aapne lockdown mein cooking kari, that's also an interest that you developed. It may not be at parity with shopping in the mall with your friends and chilling and getting selfies for Insta, but it's progress all the same than sitting in one place. To have interest, step number 1 is stay in a routine. Give least possible time to emptiness, to just think in vagueness. That is one way to keep yourself consistently moving in a direction. Routine. Wake up at the same time. It's slightly mundane, but wake up at the same time, do the same things, and slowly, 21 days takes minimum for a habit to set in. You need 21 days to do so. And 3 months to make it a permanent habit. Does that help, Fatima? Aryan, I can't hear
her. Fatima, I hope that answers your questions. If not, please let us know.
If there's more, yes, thank you. So hold on to what you're doing rather than what you are unable to do. We spend a lot of energy focusing on things that is not working for us. Even if the one thing that's working for us, like Aryan's laptop is working for him and he has a good time in that space or that gaming, or that Dhruv is doing the stock market, Mrudula is organizing these presentations. Do one thing. Anshita is doing absolutely well in art, cathartic techniques, something. If you focus on something that worked for you, hold on to that, exponentially expand it. What we do is exponentially expand what's not working for us. अब हम बाहर भी नहीं जा सकते, अब हम ये भी नहीं कर सकते, अब हम वो नहीं कर सकते. Focus on हम क्या कर सकते हैं. Slightly simpler. I hope that helps, Fatma. I wish I could see you, but I hope that helps. And for any other further questions, Arin's shared my Insta account. You can fire away, see my quotes and posts, and fire away questions any time of the day. And I will get to them as soon as possible. Yes. Questions?
Seeing that there are no questions as of now, thank you so much, ma'am, for attending this and helping us clear our doubts about the topic. It was really great having you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. And whoever's here, can I quickly get you guys on? My email ID is it's Smriti Shah Gambhir, SMRITI SHAH GAMBHIR. The Srinagar Mango Rita Ice Cream, Tina Ice Cream, Srinagar Hong Kong Apple Hong Kong Gambhir. SMRITISHAHGAMBHIR @gmail.com. It's on my Insta handle. Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Arin. I'm on a tablet, so I'm not as see. You guys are so tech savvy. Quickly it happens. I can't figure out Zoom the way you guys are. You can help me do that. For us, this screen is new normal for us. Yes. Get a screenshot like this. Should I screenshot you like this? There, I got it. Got one.
And we even have a recording if you want.
Great, please do send it to me. Switch on your cameras and let's get a nice selfie and a picture together. Who's going to click it and send it?
I'll do
that. Great.
Anyone who can switch on their cameras, please do.
Yes, please do. Let's all look up because these are brave faces. I'm so proud of you. When I was your age, none of us got. Okay. One more, please.
Yeah, I'll just save this one.
Yes.
Done.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, and I'm here for all of you. So whenever you want to fire away questions, please do so.
Yes,
keep up the hard work. Anything else you'd require me to help you with, I'm always here.
Ma'am, I'll upload the recording on a Google Drive and I'll send you the link on IG.
Please do. Please do. Please do. Somehow I can share that on my page, a little bit of it. That'll be very helpful to me. Like people like you, you know what happens when people see people like you come forward and talk, it gives immense courage to others to come forward and talk. We as youngsters never had this opportunity, and I had very supportive parents. So yes, talking about family problems or personal problems was done. But there are people at my age or even elder who still find it difficult to ask for help. Coping mechanism 101, asking for help. So I'm very, very proud of you people. Keep up the hard work, ladies and gentlemen.
I texted you. My ID is Poetic Turbulence.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah,
thank you so much, ma'am. I request all the participants to stay back because
the
now
person.
I'm going to be...
Yes.
Sorry, ma'am, you were saying?
No, my mother is logged in. She's a pediatrician. She works with teenagers herself. So she herself has written something. Her name is Veronica, and she's just said that she's very proud of all of you. She's written on the chat to everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining, ma'am.
She's with Delhi Council of Child Welfare. So see, we are all very, very proud of the things you're doing. Yes. Mrudul, you were saying something. I cut you. Sorry.
I was going to hand it over to Anshita to continue the session with Artist Voice.
Sure.
Thank you for the session, ma'am, and thank you, Unwind, for cooperating with us. So it'll be me and Anushka who will be taking over from Artist Voice. Artist Voice is a non-profit organization, and we focus on many things like we do drama, art, dance, music. We take it up all, and it's like a permanent. So you all can join us, but we don't do the normal art, dance, and music. We also do therapies with it. So today I'll give you a gist of it. So it would be great if you all could like switch on your cameras for the activity that I would be doing, and it includes like all of you. Could you all please switch on the cameras? Those who all can. Okay, so the first thing that we would be doing would be the drama therapy. So in drama therapy, I want you all to think about the qualities that you think are the best in you. Second, I want you to think and I want you to think about the qualities that you think you want to improve in yourself as a person. And third, I want you all to think about your role model, someone you look up to, and what are the qualities that you basically like in that person. And I want you to act according to them. Like, I'll give you all an example. So, being me, I believe that I'm good at helping people, I care for people, and I'll always be there for the people I love. The thing that I believe that I would like to improve would be time management, and I'll put it up in a positive way that okay, from now onwards I will be positive. I will make a good timetable. I will have a good time management thing. And for the role model thing, I believe I have seen a lot of people whom I look up to, that and the one quality that I like in them is that they keep going no matter what hardships or what problems come in their life. It's always a way to go through. Even if you all can't switch on your camera, it's okay, but I want you all to just put up your thoughts and speak. After 2 minutes we can take it up, and if anybody of you is ready, you can raise your hands. Yeah, Nirmiti, please go ahead.
Hi Anshita, I'm really sorry. That was by mistake. I'm in a mess right now, so I'm really sorry. Continue.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'll take on. You would? Can I participate in this activity?
Yes, yes, ma'am, surely.
And I'm supposed to look at. Could you repeat the activity for me once? I didn't hear the whole thing. I thought it was
Yeah,
only for
ma'am.
the
So
participants.
there are
Considering I
like
have 5 minutes
3 things.
more for my next session, yes, tell
Yes,
me.
ma'am. So, ma'am, there are 3 things. You have to tell the good qualities you think that you have in yourself and you're proud of. The second is the things that you would like to cope up with and improve in yourself. And the third is the people you look up to. What are the qualities you like in them?
Okay, let's go piece by piece. If the things that I like in me, I'm quite actually. There's one thing that I used to not like in myself for the longest time. I'm very stubborn, and till the time I worked it against myself, I used to be what we call as ziddi, not listen to anyone. When I worked it in favor of me, it worked for me. I'm quite stubborn at getting my things done or setting a goal and getting there. That helped me. I'm okay with the rest of it. Is I'm okay where I am. I may not be the best version of a person, but I'm okay with everything that exists within me. I accept and being aware of the strength. I'm okay with that. So that's the part where I feel I have worked at. I used to be angry. I used to be anxious. I used to have a shorter fuse on a lot of things. And trying to turn my stubbornness into accepting these things about myself actually made me accept all of me. The things that I look up in others is the strength to go on. You guys and people like you who sit across the table from me give me extreme amount of strength, because sitting and talking about our problems and our situations to a stranger is never easy. If you look at the human anatomy, male, females, physical nakedness is all the same. Emotional nakedness is where the real power lies. And that's what you all are taking in. And that is what I respect immensely in all humans, in all people, everyone around me. And that gave me a lot of courage to keep going on. Because we're all going through something. But the problem, the good part about this problem is that we are growing through what we go through. Yes. Does that, did I fare well on your activity, Anshita?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. So, one of you, anything? Yes, Aryan, tell me. Acha.
Yeah, I'll just continue with that. May I go, Anshita?
Yeah, please.
So, three things I like about myself: confidence, curiosity, knowledge, I guess, and things I'd like to cope with. Um, I don't think I have any. I love myself.
That's
Maybe
great.
overthinking, just holding on to people.
Aryan, I have a lot to say. I'm right here. You can talk
I'd
about
love
it.
to.
We are all a victim of overthinking. We all are. Myself, I'm anxious. But accepting your overthinking is step one to loving yourself. I'm not great at dancing, but I want to dance. That's self-love 101. To know it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah, Mridul,
Yes.
you want to go ahead?
Yes, thank you. So three things that I like about myself. Well, I'm pretty patient. I'm proud of the fact that I'm patient. Then I'm creative, and uh, one more thing would be that um, I'm pretty smart. I think. Yeah, I think I'm
Absolutely
smart.
agreed.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. And things that I would like to cope with. Well, overthinking, like ma'am said, everyone goes through it. Overthinking
Mm-hmm.
is one thing. And second thing is uh, following a schedule, because I can make schedules, but I have a lot of difficulty to following them. For some reason, I don't know. It just happens. It just happens. And the third thing is thinking something on the spot, like coming up with stuff just like that. I am not that great with that also, so I have to work on those things.
Oh, that's
And
great.
yes, thank you. The third, what was the third thing, Anshula?
You look up to your role model if there is some. What are the qualities that you like in them?
I don't exactly have a particular role model, but qualities that I like in other people is the variety. Like everyone is so different, and everyone handles things in their own unique way, which is very fascinating, honestly.
That's true, I
So,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah, Arjun, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I did not answer the third question that you had asked. So my role model is Danny, the Count Coker. He is the owner of a shop known as Count Customs in Las Vegas. So this person is like God for me since childhood. I worship. When I pray to him. And so he is an expert in cars, his knowledge, his taste in vehicles. So I, for me, cars are my life, cars are my love. And I worship this person because the way he treats cars, and just the he's a very kind person. He genuinely takes cares of people's vehicles. Like, these days it's a very common practice that people are ripped off when they go to shops because the common man doesn't really know a lot about cars. So they go to the garage, they listen to whatever the person is saying, and they get ripped off. But here, this guy sees to that every car is respected and is done right, and he tries to lower his own budget. Like, he goes in loss in order to make the customer happy, and that I worship that person. He's just the best.
That's great, Arjun. If
That's
anybody
very
wants,
nice.
yeah. So I would like to hand over it to Anushka.
Hi, so I'm Anushka and I will be taking up art therapy.
Just a
So,
minute,
like,
Anushka. Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah, no
Yes, Nikhil,
problem.
did you want
May
to?
may I ask you people, beautiful people, a favor? Could I be excused? I have to log into a session. I have to get
Yes,
online an online
thank
session.
you for it
Am I?
taking.
Thank you. And I'm very sorry. I was under the impression we'd be over by 7, but of course, talking to you is always fun. I'm looking forward to talking to all of you again soon. And would you like me to leave my number with you guys or my ID on the chat, or will you look at it?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, on the behalf
I'll
of
just.
all of UNWIND Pune, I really thank you for being here with us today, and we had a great
Thank,
session.
thank you so much, Aryan. Thank you so much for making me a part, having the faith in me. And please, that's my number. You'll have to add Delhi ka code +91. There you go. That's me, and my address, email ID, and the Insta handle is there. So you can get in touch with me. I'm here. Thank you for making me a part. You guys, Nikhil has just asked, is it for me, Nikhil? Or are you for the art question?
No, I am here for the art question.
Great. Okay. So I'll take your leave. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great time. I'm sorry I can't attend the whole session. Next time we'll keep some more time together. Take care. Thank
Thank
you.
you,
And
ma'am.
more
Bye-bye.
power to
Thank you
each
so
one
much,
of
ma'am.
you. Never stop pursuing your goals. Change your paths. Take care. Bye. Have a great day.
Good day,
Bye.
ma'am. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Nikhil, please go ahead.
Three things I liked about my most is I would like to help peoples, and I want to and second thing is I want to keep innovating in me and develop new skills for myself, and two things. And I third second question is I whom I admire the most. There are 2 person whom I admire the most. One is a blogger who lives in Mumbai. It's Mumbai ka Nikhil. He uh, travels and how he manages everything. I loved him that most. And second thing, I admire my 11 12th teacher, my commerce teacher, the commerce baba, who keep innovating new things in his life. At the age of 35, he's keep innovating. He's keep exploring new things. And one thing I want to अच्छा करना चाहता हूँ, that's his overthinking and short temperedness.
Okay, Nikhil, that's great. And about that vlogger that you said, Mumbai, so that is because you have the same name?
Mumbai ka Nikhil, yes, it may be.
Okay, that's great, Nikhil. Thank you, Nikhil. Yeah, Anushka, you can happily take over now.
Yeah, so like I would initially ask you to draw your spirit animal. So with like the shortage of time, so you can just think about it. It's spirit animal is like a spirit which helps you guide you. It protects you in a way that you may not notice or something. It depends on your belief. I think. So like it can even it necessarily don't have to be an animal or something. It for someone or something. It can be like a person you relate to, you admire, or something like that. So like it can be related to your zodiac sign as well. Um, so like for example, like I would just go with lion because my zodiac is Leo, and initially lion stands as a power of patience and even very strong. So it can be like even mentally strong that I connect to that. So yeah, if you want to like say, or if you have time to draw, I don't think so there would be. You can just tell, you can think about it, a person or thing that you feel around you like an aura or something. Yes, so you can raise your hand to answer. Aaron, would you like to go ahead?
Yeah, so we have to speak like a paragraph on our favorite object, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so my favorite thing, as I mentioned before, okay, I'll go with snakes. So my favorite animal is snakes, and I just really admire, how they, survive in the wild. For me, snakes are a symbol of strength. Having no arms, no legs, they fight in the fierce forest that they have to live in. There are many predators in the like their habitat, but still one can kind of beat them, and no one messes with them. That is something I really admire. They are in so many colors, so many shapes, and they never fear anyone. They wouldn't hurt anyone on purpose. And okay, what more should I say? Could I just go on cars?
Sorry.
Could I just go on and speak about cars?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so my favorite car brand, Lamborghini. So I really admire how the company started. It used to build tractors before, and then after like a fight with the owner of Ferrari, the person decided to transfer, like, start making supercars. Start making cars. And the concept of supercars as we know today was actually started as a secret project by the engineers that worked at Lamborghini. And it was just like, it was a secret project, and they did not even mean to like sell them. They were just like, okay, it will be like a nice publicity stunt. And the Lamborghini Miura was created. And today, the engines that we have, the styling of the vehicles, and the way they are set up, the layout, the engine layout, the where it is placed, which seat is placed, all of it, whatever we see today, all of the amazing vehicles, the hypercars, the supercars, sports cars, it all happened due to that one man, due to that one step, taking it forward, just taking his love for bulls into tractors, and then his knowledge and love for vehicles into cars. And I can't even express how it fascinates me, and how just how revolutionary it is. And I'm sure, even though all of you must not love cars as much as I do, but you still like, supercars and all, they fascinate everyone. The high speed, it is a coping mechanism in itself for many people. That that for myself personally, when I drive over like 90 kilometers, 100 kilometers per hour, at those speeds, I feel myself very peaceful. That situation, that I have no fear in the world. I mean, technically I could crash and die, but still I have no fear in the world. It is my quiet place. The sound of the roaring sound of the engine makes me feel quiet and peaceful. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you for your share. Anybody
Okay, so
else?
I'd also like to go ahead. So I believe my spirit animal is unicorn because like they're always in clouds, they like fairy tales and like the rainbows and stuff. And okay, I personally like it. Said or not, you believe that okay, I'm so superficial in everything or in imaginative girl world, but okay, I personally love those things and those things make me happy. Something that I would relate to would Mango Coconut, that sometimes people assume that I am hard looking or I might have attitude on the outside, but in the inside I am soft and always be open to anyone and everyone, and like and always give the best to the people I love.
Mridul, would you like to say now?
Yeah. So spirit animal. I guess my spirit animal would be an eagle, because eagles, they are very clever and they are pretty interesting creatures. They are the strongest birds. Like they're like the king of birds. Like I think that's what we will call them. But the way they just soar over the sky, like they're just free. They're so free and they're patient. But if you mess with them, they won't take it. They are dangerous and calm in their own way at the same time, which is very interesting. And I like that about them.
Yeah. So now anyone else would like to go? Okay, so I guess we will end the session.
And
And
guys, from Art and Voice, I would be writing the Insta ID here. So if you all want to join, you can join at any time. It's a permanent organization that we have, and we would love to see you all. Thank you, Unwind Pune, for collaborating with us. It was great doing it with you.
It was great to have you.
Thank you so much, Anshita.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, today everyone, you may start leaving now.